Now, in my last video, I did rant about how Frozen 2 was a cinematic disaster, and I'm not wrong. I'm talking about something different than Frozen. I'll be talking about Inside Out 2, and how it is a cinematic masterpiece. Previous review video, I was talking about Frozen 2 and how it was a cinematic disaster. This video is going to be different because I'll be talking about Inside Out 2, made by Pixar Studios, also owned by Disney, and how it is a cinematic masterpiece. That's right, two sequels in a row, one is terrible and one is actually good. So let me just get on with the story of Inside Out 2. The story of Inside Out 2 takes place after the first events of Inside Out 1, but Riley has now gone through puberty and 4 new emotions are now in headquarters. Those emotions contain of anxiety, embarrassment, envy, and ennui, which also means boredom apparently. And they decide to take over headquarters entirely and change everything about Riley. The new thing is the sense of self. This helps Riley make good decisions in her life, as anxiety will try and make a new sense of self, basically kind of lying to Riley. In the end, I don't want to spoil it. This is like a spoiler review, kind of. And how the new sense of self says she's not good enough. Riley is not good enough. That's basically lying to yourself. Now, I do want to point out the fact that I really like the designs of the new characters. Embarrassment. My goodness, why does he remind me of Queso? Anxiety. That's actually really good with the squash and stretch technician animation thing. I'm not really have squash or stretch in my stop motion animation movies. I wish I did. Envy. I really like the design. She's small and she has those anime eyes, which fit very well in her character. Ennui. Her nose is basically Dr. Doofenshmirtz's. And she's basically noodles. It's very funny. I like that funniness the movie brings, and it's satire. The satire is Bluefy, which is supposed to be satire towards Dora the Explorer and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, where they will talk to the screen, to the camera, asking in a sarcastic voice if the child watching the show knows a way out. But in reality, they're staring at nothing, which I found very funny when it cuts to Bluefy staring at a wall. Lance Slashbade, he's just basically a Super Smash Bros. Character. His design looks great. They got the bit rate right. They got the 180 bits. The animation for Lance Slashblade is also really good. He's a video game character. Deep Dark Secret. You're telling me the Deep Dark Secret, she burned a hole in the rug. Now, I do like adding stuff to a universe. Like how in the Godzilla franchise, they add all these new monsters, thereby building the world as there are monsters. New monsters that come in to try and take over the world. For Inside Out 2, however, we now get introduced to the Riley protection system, which has all of those memories that belong in the back of the mind that go to the back of the mind. But this was actually a terrible flaw in Joy's plan, as anxiety sends Riley's original sense of self to the back of the mind, and she claims to the mind police that the original the 5 core emotions, that they are secrets, which I kind of find very funny. And now, joy, disgust, anger, and fear have to go to the back in the mind. I will do a review on Inside Out 1. Don't worry. By the way, I do want to point out how I saluted when I saw the Bing Bong paper mache. Bing Bong was my favorite character. You can't go wrong with Bing Bong. Rest in peace, my boy. He's in the stars. Well, imaginary stars, considering he's an imaginary friend. What else? I really like the idea of how they're building long-term memory and to add all these new memories. Once again, Riley is going through puberty, and the sign at the beginning of the movie when those weird like things, those weird people like with the construction helmets on, the workers who work long-term memory or Dream Studios. Not that dream. I'm talking about like the dreams that Riley has. Why do they look like gummies? Like vitamin D. Take your Flintstone gummies, for Pete's sake. But listen, the fact is that they're working. That means they're basically the things that help through puberty. And Riley waking up as like the puberty is just kicking in. That's when she has to get deodorant. I know, men, please put on deodorant in public or you will smell bad. Please. You don't want to end up like me, accidentally not putting on deodorant after a shower. Those were awkward moments in my life. But I do want to point out that I do like the building of the world. They still have the memory dump just for a split second. May I add that the sense of self, no, the belief system, is the most beautiful thing I've seen in animation. And I've seen the most beautiful things. Like the scene from The Lion King where Mufasa is telling Simba how a king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun. That was beautiful cinematography right there. This is with that. That is the level of cinematography that Inside Out 2 has. The belief system, like you put memories in there. That's how anxiety makes the new sense of self. But here's the thing. Those are anxiety's memories and not joy memories. Because the joy memories have positive things. But anxiety ones have unpositive. Which means that they would be lying to themselves. That they are lying to Riley. Like how in one of them it says, if I'm a Firehawk, I won't be alone. Or if I play hockey, I will have friends. That's lying to yourself. You can find friends in different places. But that would not help. That would not help when you're lying to yourself. That is how, when I was saying, oh, I'm planning on filming Godzilla Zero, that was my first movie. It took 6 months to make. And it shouldn't have been. It should have been 2 months. And that, a little starter, Sonic Rise of Eggman is not the first movie I made. Godzilla Zero is. And it took me 6 months to make it, but it was 14 minutes long. I was lying to myself, saying that it will take, I'm going to keep on making it, but no, I actually slacked for, those 6 months, and I feel awful about it. I feel awful that I slacked. I feel awful that I did it. Like, it's terrible. Also, I want to note the panic attack scene. This is when, near the climax of the film, when they finally reach the belief system using all these bad memories by using Pouchy. Because Anger pulled dynamite out of his mouth. Pouchy's basically like, basically a backpack from Dora the Explorer. He has all these items that are random in every episode, but apparently it's a trend that it's exploding dynamites, which I find very funny. The belief system now has these like bad memories, and it actually makes a new sense of self, like a positive one. Like it has the both positives and the negatives, which makes it into a better positive. Shows the pros and cons. But this also points this out, that the anxiety attack or panic attack scene, which I find the most best way of like doing a panic attack scene, that is perfect. Like in cartoons, they would just slap the guy across the face. Like, I slapped myself across the face. I'm now in pain. Subscribe. Subscribe and like to the video with notifications on so you get to see Sonic Rise of Eggman. I had to put in the plug. I am sorry that I had to put in the plug. I feel awful now. But in movies like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, made by DreamWorks, it actually properly shows how to go through like a panic attack, as here does Inside Out 2. Anxiety's putting pressure on Riley, and that makes Riley hyperventilate. then it starts. Then anxiety turns into a giant tornado, and Joy goes in, and tells anxiety to stop, in a very poetic way. That you don't choose who Riley is. That's what she says, actually. But then, like when anxiety says it as well, she gets reminded of how she has take all those bad memories to the back of the mind. She is choosing who Riley is, making her a hypocrite. This adds to the hypocritical standpoint. Then the new sense of self is created. They hug it for some reason, and that helps Riley calm down. I also want to point out this major plot point in the movie, and that's how Riley's two best friends, Bree and Grace, are no longer like going to be going to the same high school as Riley. They got attending to a new high school, and the emotions, the 5 core emotions, and the new emotions are like terrified that they won't have any friends. And agreed. Like, I was scared to make new friends when I first got to my school. Don't get me wrong. And I finally found my footing, and so on and so forth. This actually shows rightfully of being a teenager and going to high school. Except for the hockey bit. I don't want to play hockey. If you guys want to see a YouTube video story thing of how I landed on my butt while ice skating in the ice skating ring, subscribe for that. Subscribe for that, please. I also want to hit 50 subscribers so I can stream Sonic Rise of Eggman, which will be awesome, by the way, once you subscribe and like and hit the notification bell. That way you'll know I am live. You guys will get to rewatch the video. Now, I'm sorry, I put 2 plugs in the same video. I'm sorry. But, there is these teams, like basically the team that Riley is currently on at the beginning of the movie is called the Firehawks. Basically, not the Firehawks, I'm sorry, the Foghorns. Basically, it's kind of like a low type thing. As the Firehawks, they're like these state champions, which is awesome, by the way. Like, I'm a Washington fan myself, and I was born in the era when they were called the Redskins, which I love, by the way. My dad would always turn on football games, like during November and December. Me, and the rest of the family, like, we would watch the Redskins. Good times. Anyway, what else? This is probably gonna be like a long video. Not really long, like longer than the Frozen 2 rant. I don't really have much to say, and that is really strange, but yes, I give it a 5 out of 5, and that's how you know that's how much I love this movie. If you want to see me do Inside Out 1, like, subscribe for more, ring the notification bell. We're on our way to 50 subscribers, so please do. Thank you for subscribing and liking the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.